G'day guys and welcome to Aussie English. My objective here is to teach you guys the English spoken down under. So whether you want to speak like a fair dinkum Aussie or you just want to understand what the flippin' hell we're on about when we're having a yarn, you've come to the right place. So sit back, grab a cuppa and enjoy Aussie English. G'day guys, what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are listening to me at the moment. Welcome to everyone who's listening for the very first time. This is Aussie English. I'm your host, Pete, and my mission here at the Aussie English podcast is to teach you Australian English, whether it's understanding Australian English, speaking Australian English, or even sounding just like an Australian when you speak English. That is my aim. That is my mission. That is my passion. That is the reason that I started this podcast. So today is an expression episode, and the expression is to have your mind in the gutter. To have your mind in the gutter. And you're often going to hear this as get your mind out of the gutter. So you can have your mind in the gutter, and someone could tell you to get your mind out of the gutter. We'll get to what this expression means shortly, but first, as usual, guys, let's go through the different words in this expression and define those. So, mind is your brain, your thoughts, the thing that gives you the ability to think and reason. It's your intellect, your mind. It's where you think about things. I'm sure you guys know what in is. If you're in something, it's the opposite of being out of something. So it's within something. That's an easy one. You're all going to know that. And the same with out. Out is the opposite of in. If you're not inside of something, you're outside of something. If, for instance, you have a coin sitting in a jar, if you take the coin out of the jar and put it down, it's out of the jar. It's outside of the jar. So that's what out and in are. Gutter. A gutter is a groove or a channel for flowing liquid. So on my roof, the roof of my house, there is a gutter that collects water. As the water, if it rains, runs down the roof of my house, it collects in the gutter and then flows down the drain. And the same on the road. There's a gutter on the edge of either side of the road, and when it rains, all of the water flows down into the gutter. So a gutter is a groove or a channel for flowing liquid. And as we'll get to later on, it tends to be associated with obviously dirty water or dirt in general, waste, all kinds of, filth, trash, everything that gets washed away down the gutter. So the definition of this expression, though, to have your mind in the gutter, or for someone to tell you to take your mind out of the gutter, or to get your mind out of the gutter, if you have your mind in the gutter, it means that you are thinking or saying things that are obscene, that are usually dirty, that have a sexual nature. So the idea there being that your thoughts are dirty, so your mind is in the gutter, which is a dirty place. So you can have your mind in the gutter if you're constantly thinking about these things or talking about these things, sexual jokes, sexual innuendos, or maybe you just bring up those sorts of topics quite a bit. And someone might say to you, if you have your mind in the gutter and you're talking about these things, you should get your mind out of the gutter, meaning you should stop talking about these sexual things, these dirty things, these obscene things. So it's often said to someone as an order, a command, a statement. Dude, get your mind out of the gutter. Get out of it, mate. Get your mind out of the gutter. So, as usual, let's go through some examples, guys, of where I would imagine using this phrase. Example number 1, imagine that you go on a date. You go out with a girl or you go out with a guy, you have an amazing time, and then you get home, you come home, you walk in the door, and imagine your dad is sitting on the couch. And this would happen with me quite a bit when I was young. Obviously, he probably knows that you've gone out on a date, you've met someone, you've gone out, had dinner, gone to a movie, had some drinks. You come home, Dad's on the couch, and he says to you as soon as you walk in the door, hey, did you get lucky? Which is effectively saying, did you get any sex? Did you kiss the person? Did you have any kind of, sexual relationship with them? Whether it was just having a pash, having a kiss, or completely, getting all the way to the other end of the spectrum and having sex with that person. He might say, did you get lucky? In a response to that, I might say, Dad's asking about sexual activity. He's said something that's a little obscene. He's asking a dirty question. I might say to him, Dad, get your mind out of the gutter, mate. Get your mind out of the gutter. Why every time I walk inside after a date, you've got your mind in the gutter? Your mind's in the gutter. Stop thinking about sex. Stop talking about sex. Don't ask me about sex. Get your mind out of the gutter, Dad. Jesus, you're being dirty. Stop it. Example number 2. Imagine that you mishear someone. You're having a conversation with someone and you mishear something that they say. So you don't hear correctly. You mishear what they're saying. So maybe they say something like, we had a bag. And instead of we had a bag, you hear we had a shag. And a shag is a slang term for to have sex. So you automatically assume when you mishear something like that the other person is talking about sex, is talking about something dirty, is talking about something obscene when it really wasn't. It was harmless. Maybe they also said something like, we had a boot, and you heard instead, we had a root. And again, a root is the same as a shag. These are both slang terms in Australian English for sex. So you keep thinking you're hearing these kinds of things, whether it's all, that evening or just it's something you do all the time, but you automatically always assume someone's talking about sex when you mishear words like that. When you say that, did you just say you were having a shag? Or did you just say you were having a root? The person might say to you, dude, why do you always assume that? Get your mind out of the gutter. You always have your mind in the gutter. Every time I say anything and you mishear it, you automatically assume I'm talking about sex. Get your mind out of the gutter. You're so dirty. Take your mind out of the gutter. Your mind is in the gutter. Get it out. So example number 3. Someone is always talking about sex. Someone is always talking about dirty things. Someone has a dirty mind. Someone's always making what we call dick jokes. If they're a guy, they're always talking about penises. They're just always talking about dirty things. Your friends might always just have to say to this person, get your mind out of the gutter. Take your mind out of the gutter. Stop talking about this stuff. It's all that's ever on your mind. It's all that you ever think about. You need to get your mind out of the gutter. Your mind's in the gutter. Take your mind out of the gutter. So I'm sure you guys get this at the moment, and hopefully by talking about sex quite a bit in this episode, you're not going to comment, Pete, get your mind out of the gutter. But this is a really common one that you'll hear in Australia. It's a really great expression to use. You don't have to necessarily be serious, like if someone is talking about this stuff, you can kind of joke with them and be like, man, get your mind out of the gutter, cut it out. And people will sort of hear you do that as a foreigner who's learning English, and they'll think, that's a really cool expression, that's really funny. That's kind of cute. It's awesome that you know how to say that kind of expression, and yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, let's get into the listen and repeat exercise today, guys. So, as usual, we'll go through a sentence, and the sentence is going to be, I've got my mind in the gutter. So, listen and repeat after me, guys, and practice your pronunciation. I've got my mind in the gutter. You've got your mind in the gutter. He's got his mind in the gutter. She's got her mind in the gutter. We've got our mind in the gutter. They've got their mind in the gutter. Now let's just quickly practice the statement of get your mind out of the gutter. 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 So there's a few different things going on here, guys, that I want to talk about in the pronunciation tip. So this is where I talk about how I pronounce these things like a native and the different pronunciation changes that I make when I speak quickly. Often when you hear words that end with a T sound, like get, and then are followed by words like you or your, so they have the y sound. When we have the T joined with that y sound, it combines into a ch. And that's why you're going to hear me say, get your mind out of the gutter. So if I was speaking quickly with another person who was Australian as well, I might just say, get your mind out of the gutter, mate. Get your mind out, as opposed to get your mind out of the gutter, because it's quicker, it's more fluid, it's easier to pronounce it like that. Getcha. Getcha. So go back and have a listen. You'll hear that getcha when I say get your mind out of the gutter. Give that a practice. And just now, I'll give you some other examples. So get you can become get you, getcha. Want you can become want you, wantcha. Look at your shoes will often become look at your shoes or look at cha shoes. So look at your, look at cha. Stopped you can become stop chew, stop cha. And can't you can become can't chew or can't cha. So you might hear a bit of variations from time to time. Some people might say get chew versus get cha, or can't chew instead of can't cha. But in all those cases, they're saying can't you or get you, etc. So that's it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you know now how to use the expression to get your mind out of the gutter or to have your mind in the gutter. As usual, I'll give you a rundown of what the exercises are going to be in today's bonus stuff. If you sign up to be a member on the Aussie English website, you can try it for $1 for the first week. The exercise that's going to be a substitution exercise will be tackling the phrasal verb to get out. So we're going to go through all the different synonyms for get out and practice substituting that in. We'll go over the Aussie slang in this episode, a pash, a root, a shag, the sort of sex slang. We'll talk a bit about that. We're also going to go over the T and the Y sound becoming a ch sound or a cha sound, chew or cha, in the pronunciation exercise. And then in the grammar exercise, we're going to be practicing splitting different phrasal verbs. So like I blew up the station can become I blew the station up. I hope you enjoy this episode, guys. If you want to support me and you want to take your English to the next level, go over to Aussie English, click Learn English Faster, and join up to be a member. Give all the bonus content a go and let me know what you think. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll chat to you soon. See you guys. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Aussie English podcast. I love podcasting for you, and I think it's one of the most effective ways to learn a foreign language. To help you guys learn even faster, I have created the Aussie English Supporter Pack. Each week, you get PDF transcripts, exercises, and MP3s for podcast episodes, as well as access to the Aussie English Virtual Classroom. This is a private Facebook group for members only, and it's where you can interact with me and other passionate Aussie English learners every day. If you want to take your English to the next level, visit www.theaussieenglishpodcast.com and click Learn English Faster. You're going to love it, and I'll see you there.